What's up, guys? No plan. Just decided to make a video because I feel like I need to make some more, and people enjoy hearing me talk, I guess, sometimes. But basically, I just wanted to let's talk about integrity, both professional, competitive, personal, whatever you want to talk about. Basically, I'm very transparent with my own personal struggles, like I try to be, because I want people to know that mental health is not something to be joked about. There are a lot of people out there that are struggling. I decided to cut it because I remembered if I film vertical, the YouTube is going to get mad at me. But basically, a lot of people out there are struggling with mental health, whether that's suicidal thoughts, depression, anger, whatever you can think of. Basically, people out there have it. A lot of people have just either been shamed into not talking about it, feel like they can't because they're a man or whatever, and then have a bunch of hardcore assholes out there. And I don't mean like hardcore assholes hyphen. I mean like guys that think that they're hardcore, they're so hard that like I don't have feelings. I'm a badass, Barney badass, like all you fucking pussies, da 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 da, all that shit. And I'll say that stuff too because I think I'm better than a lot of people, but that's like my competitive, self-loathing narcissism or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It basically just annoys me that people will talk down to others for discussing mental health issues that they have or that other people have, or will make fun of suicide, like Chester Bennington, or like, why do we care that a guy who's a professional artist killed himself when so-and-so killed themselves too, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's just the different medium. Like, all life has value. All people have value in their lives, even if they don't see it anymore and then choose to take their life. It's just using that medium to make a discussion happen. Like, a lot of people know who Chester Bennington is. Not a lot of people know Krista from my high school class, who also committed suicide. It's just the way the world works. So basically, I just wanted to talk about that and integrity. Basically, just the value of life and the value of your own life and your own product, persona, whatever you put forward. I try to have a lot of integrity. I stand by my beliefs. I stand by my opinions. I'm an asshole sometimes, but that's okay. Like, I will still have a discussion, and if somebody wants to have a discussion, I will try to make that happen, because we're all people. We all deserve to be treated on the same level and whatever. But biggest thing is, and I don't know whether it's the fitness industry or there's other industries out there that experience similar things. There most likely are. But professional integrity. Like, I know multiple coaches out there who have had affairs, like whether it be emotional, physical, or whatever, with some of their clients. That bothers the shit out of me. People that will talk about holding their own standard, upholding the standard, squatting to depth, pausing your benches, blah, 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 all that happy horse shit we all care about in this niche of powerlifting. But then they get closer to a meet, they actually start competing themselves, they start having some of their athletes get closer and closer to a meet, like putting more and more gear on, and they're squatting higher and higher, they're not locking out deadlifts, they're not whatever, they're basically just reverting into yes men, where, yeah, that was great, good job, like, you're kicking ass, we got PRs incoming, blah, blah, blah. That's not how this works. Like, it just really bothers me when people won't accept maybe their training cycle wasn't the best. Maybe they had some injuries they were dealing with. Maybe they had some outside stressors that limited them. Maybe just shit didn't line up like you wanted it to, and you're not going to hit the numbers that you expect yourself to. I went into the US Open wanting to squat 900 plus pounds. I ended up squatting 865. I'm not mad about that. I smoked it on my second attempt, but I was called for depth. I squatted high. I don't bury my shit. As Izzy Narvaez something from Powerlifting to Win said in one of his most recent videos, squat just enough to drop the top of the hip joint below the top of the knee, or the top of the quad but below the top of the knee. Just barely, just kiss depth. Look at Andrei Milanichev. It's just barely there. And because if you go any deeper, you lose pounds. If you go any higher, you lose respect and you're a punk. But I hold myself to that standard, and it's incredibly hard to because anytime we examine ourselves as on the human level, we have a bias towards wanting to think we're the main character in our story. We're the all good doing, all righteous, all right main character, when in reality we're not. We make mistakes, we're flawed, we have biases. Like I squatted 715 for 5 this past week. I've been feeling beat to shit. I have some outside family stress going on. I'm planning a wedding. I'm not planning a wedding. I'm trying to stay as far out of it as possible, but basically, I just have a lot of other stuff going on. They probably weren't to depth. They probably weren't to USPA qualified single rep depth. But then I have to remind myself, outside stuff going on. Squat deeper in competition. Realize that 1 rep max calculator of 715 for 5 probably won't reflect a true 1 rep max. That put me at like 830 or something. That's just the way it goes. Basically just making this with no plan, so just talking. But we all have to hold ourselves accountable, and we have to pull back that bias, that tendency to think that we're the best, that we're all-knowing, all good humans, because we're not. And basically I just ask the people that watch my stuff, that draw inspiration from it, that do whatever it is you guys do when you listen to me talk, hold yourself to a standard. Realize that if you're looking at your squat video and you're like, man, I don't know if I hit depth, assume you didn't. Assume the worst. Be better. Make yourself be better. Because 9 times out of 10, if you do that consistently for 10 years of training, because I've been doing this since 2007 as a freshman in high school. If you consistently do that and you consistently hold yourself to a higher standard than what you would normally expect to be held to, and you bust your ass and you basically just approach it with the ferocity of you need to do this to survive, you're going to be way better than what you think you could have been. You're going to be way better than all the people out there that were like, oh yeah, that's fine, that's good enough, you're good. Bullshit. Be better. Don't be a fucking punk. And talk about your feelings too, because we're all people. We all have shitty thoughts at sometimes. Don't be a fucking pussy that says, well, you can't do it, you're not allowed to. All right, Joe Sullivan out. I'm running out of time. Bye.